Gold, it's supposed to shine bright, but in Sudan it bleeds. Right now, deep in the deserts of Africa, one of the world's most secret wars is being fought. Not with bombs or soldiers, but with gold. And here's the shocking truth, this war is not really about Sudan at all. Behind the headlines of chaos and coups, something much bigger is happening. A hidden network of foreign powers, billion-dollar companies, and shadow armies are fighting for control of Sudan's gold. And the profits are funding global wars you never hear about. You've probably seen quick news clips about Sudan's conflict. But what if I told you the real story is buried under the sand? A story involving the Wagner Group from Russia, US intelligence agencies, and secret trade routes running through Dubai. This isn't just another African conflict, it's a gold war that connects Moscow, Washington, and the Middle East, all fighting for one thing, control. In this video, you'll discover 1. How Sudan quietly became one of the richest gold zones in the world. 2. Who's really stealing that gold and where it ends up. 3. The shocking link between Sudan's mines and global power struggles. But the truth behind it all will shock you. Let me show you exactly how this hidden gold war began. To understand the gold war, we need to go back to Sudan, a country sitting on top of over 1,500 tons of untapped gold. But here's the problem. Sudan isn't just rich in gold, it's also rich in instability. Since gaining independence, Sudan has faced decades of military takeovers, foreign interference, and civil conflict. Each new leader promised peace, but behind the scenes, the gold trade was quietly shaping who stayed in power. In 2019, when Omar al-Bashir, Sudan's longtime ruler, was overthrown, many celebrated, but few knew that his fall opened the door to a massive gold rush, one that foreign powers couldn't resist. Sudan's gold wasn't just valuable, it was uncounted. Most of it was mined illegally, melted in secret refineries, and smuggled across borders. According to reports, more than 80% of Sudan's gold never shows up in official records. So where does it go? Here's where it gets interesting. Large amounts of Sudanese gold end up in Dubai, the glittering capital of the UAE, where it's cleaned, rebranded, and sold as legal gold on the world market. But some of that gold takes another path, straight into Russia's hands. After the Ukraine war began, Russia faced sanctions and desperately needed new income streams. Enter the Wagner Group, a private Russian military company that helped Sudan's leaders crush local rebellions. In exchange for one thing, gold access. But that's not the whole story. While Wagner was digging in, American officials were watching closely. They knew whoever controlled Sudan's gold could fund wars or stop them, and now the US, Russia, and even Middle Eastern allies are playing a silent game for control. Now here's where things get really interesting. The first shocking truth, Sudan's gold is financing wars far beyond Africa. According to sources and leaked intelligence, in billions of dollars worth of Sudanese gold has secretly been moved through smuggling networks linked to Russia and the UAE. Once refined, it's used to buy weapons, fund mercenaries, and stabilize regimes. One US official described it like this: greater than every ounce of gold leaving Sudan could be a bullet somewhere else. Satellite images have even spotted illegal airstrips used to move gold out of conflict zones. And documents suggest the Wagner Group was given exclusive rights to certain gold mines in exchange for protecting Sudan's generals. Think about that, a foreign mercenary group fighting for gold, shaping who rules an entire country. And it's not just Russia's game. American intelligence agencies reportedly began pressuring Sudan's leaders to limit Wagner's access. At the same time, UAE companies quietly increased their gold imports from Sudan, tripling in 1 year. Why? Because gold can move without banks, without sanctions, and without leaving a trail. This isn't just smuggling, it's a shadow financial system. And for ordinary Sudanese citizens, this gold boom feels more like a curse. While elites and foreign powers grow rich, local miners work in toxic conditions, breathing mercury and risking collapse for a few dollars a day. But if you think that's shocking, wait until you hear how Sudan's gold became part of a global power weapon. Here's the deeper truth. Sudan's gold isn't just about money, it's about leverage. After Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Western sanctions hit hard, but while banks froze, gold became Russia's lifeline. Reports suggest that gold from Sudan was quietly flown to Moscow and used to back the ruble and fund war operations. At the same time, American and European officials feared that if Russia gained full control of Sudan's gold, it could undermine Western economic power. So the US began supporting certain Sudanese factions, offering aid and diplomatic recognition in exchange for promises to cut Wagner out. In other words, Sudan became a proxy battlefield for the US and Russia, not with tanks, but with trade routes. The UAE's role is equally fascinating. Dubai's gold markets have been accused of laundering African gold, turning conflict gold into legal wealth. It's a system so clean, so invisible that even major banks can't trace it. Meanwhile, Sudan's own government is split. The country's two main generals, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and Mohamed Hamdan Dagalo, known as Hemeti, once allies, now fight each other. Both want power, both want gold, and both have foreign backers. Hemeti's rapid support forces reportedly made millions through illegal gold exports. Some of that gold, sources claim, ended up funding Wagner operations in other parts of Africa. This brings us to the most shocking part. The real hidden war isn't between Sudanese generals, it's between superpowers. Gold is just the cover story. Behind it lies a silent global currency war. Whoever controls gold flows in Africa can challenge the dominance of the US dollar. And that's what's really at stake. Russia, China, and their allies are building systems that trade in gold, not dollars. And Sudan, with its massive untapped reserves, is one of the key supply points. If Russia and its partners succeed, they could create an alternative financial network, one that weakens US influence. That's why, according to intelligence analysts, the US is determined not to let Sudan's gold slip away. So while the world sees chaos in Khartoum, powerful men in Washington, Moscow, and Dubai see something else, a golden chessboard. Every mine, every shipment, every smuggler, a piece in a quiet war for global dominance. So what does all this mean for us today? This gold war shows us how modern power really works. It's not always fought with missiles or tanks. Sometimes it's fought with resources, money, and control of information. Sudan's story reveals how global powers use poor nations as economic battlegrounds, where the real currency isn't oil anymore, it's gold. And it's not just Sudan. Similar patterns are unfolding in Mali, the Congo, and Niger. If this trend continues, the world could soon see the rise of a new gold-backed economy, one that could rival Western systems. That's why the US is so invested, not just to stop Russia, but to protect the dollar's global control. For ordinary people, it's a reminder. Every time gold prices rise or fall, there's a deeper story behind it, one that involves power, politics, and the hidden cost of wealth. Before we wrap up, there's one final thing you need to know. The war for gold isn't ending, it's expanding. Reports now suggest new gold corridors are being built through Chad and Egypt. Private jets carrying gold bars fly at night with no records, and experts warn that as long as global powers depend on hidden gold routes, conflict will always follow. Here's the final twist. Some of the gold that left Sudan years ago is now part of central bank reserves in major economies, meaning, in a way, the entire world is already part of this hidden war. The next time you see a piece of gold, remember this. It might have come from a mine in Sudan, dug by a poor worker, traded by a warlord, and melted into a vault that helps fund the next global conflict. Gold doesn't just shine, it hides secrets. If this opened your eyes, stay with us, because the next story we uncover might just change how you see the entire world.